Morning, children. It's Thursday, and our English today is following on from what you did yesterday. Now, you were planning a piece of creative writing based on escaping a volcanic eruption. Now, today, what you're going to be doing is use that plan that you prepared yesterday to to draft your piece of creative writing. All right. And what I put up here is think about how are you going to start. How's it going to be? You're going to add some dialogue straight away, some action, some description. Are you going to set the scene? What are you going to do? There's no right or wrong about how you start. What I'd like you to think about is how are you going to get that reader to really want to continue reading, right? Be really engaged with your piece of writing. So just think about how you're going to start. Okay. Now, we mentioned it yesterday that the eruption hasn't happened straight away. Right, you're probably there trying to enjoy the scenery, being with friends, excited about going to see the volcanic crater. All right, so think about how you're going to start it. All right, and here's a little bit of a success criteria: is how things that you may think about when you're doing your own piece of writing based on your plan. All right, and it says here some ideas to help you with your writing. Make parts of it fast-paced. Is there a twist in the plot? Is there lots of action? Is there an element of surprise? I'm guessing the element of surprise is that you realise that the island is going to erupt. Think about your sentence structures. Are you going to use some short sentences at times for effect? Are you going to use those complex sentences to add that detail into maybe your setting or description? Describe how characters react to those terrifying situations. How can you show how their emotions have changed? You don't necessarily have to tell the reader that they've gone from being very excited to actually starting to be quite petrified. How might you use show not tell to show that? What dialogue are you going to use? Can you make it really effective and make it so the action is being moved forward? What the characters are saying, can you show that maybe there's a change in their tone, the way that they're speaking, the way that they're feeling? So think about that. Now, myself and Mr. Pemberton have put a little thing together, and it's not to do with a volcanic eruption, all right, but sort of maybe a description of a setting, right, the opening, right, of there, okay. And we feel that it's an example of good sentence structures and the use of senses to create atmosphere, description, and interest for the reader. Now, you may hopefully see that the sentences or the lines are in different colours. Now, we've tried to link those to the senses that we've asked you to use yesterday in your planning. So, for instance, the green part, the smell, okay, those are the bits which we have indicated we've used our sense of smell to add some description in. All right, the pink bit, the hearing. Here's an example of how we've used our sense of hearing to add description in. Now, one thing you may not have noticed is we haven't used any dialogue. What we would do when we continue with the next paragraph is start to introduce that dialogue, but also remembering that we still need to include that action and description with the dialogue. All right, and it's worth just pausing the video and having a look at that setting description. Look at the different variety of sentence structures, punctuation, verb choices, precise vocabulary, how it's moved from one thing to the next, how we've used our senses to hopefully get across a really good description. So think really carefully. Enjoy it, children. Be really bold. Right? When you read it back to yourself as you're writing it, does it bring a smile to your face? Does it make you think, oh, what's going to be happening next? Because if it is, that's what's going to happen to those people reading your creative writing as well. So enjoy it, children, and I will see you for tomorrow's lesson.